Coming from a galaxy near you, this is Brothers in Booze. And here are your hosts, Greg Washington and Doug Ziegler.
Hello, hello, hello. Yes, it is just me to start off this show. Welcome to Brothers in Booze. Doug is en route home from March Madness, so he might make an appearance here. He might not. We'll see. But I'm here. That's good, right? And I'm here with a burgeoning goth queen, oatmeal stout. Look at that can art. Look at those eyes. Isn't Look at those eyes. This is a Parched Eagle brewing joint. It's an oatmeal stout, 6.7, pretty hop, decently hopped at 39 IBUs. It is fresh. I bought it yesterday before it even came out today. So I'm looking forward to it. Well, I tasted it at the pub yesterday. So I know what I'm getting into here, but it's a delicious, fine pouring in a dirty beer glass. Even though I tried to clean this, I did, y'all. HG, I need to get you one. I keep saying that, but I really do. So I have 5 more of these. I'm going to send one your way for sure. This is roasty, but balanced with a solid amount of hops, but not overly hoppy. And you won't really even acknowledge it unless you really look for it because it's so roasty. And it's at 6.7, it's drinking like a Guinness, like light. Um, I wouldn't say it's as light as a Dunkel. And you get the oatmeal in it, but it's not thick or heavy, if that even makes sense. Some mouthfeel there, but so yeah. Um, we have Doug's not here, but we still have a really good show for y'all coming up. Yeah, look at that. We still have a really good show. We have Miss Leanne Wong. She's a television chef. She's well, she was on TV being a chef, but she is on TV. She's still currently we will talk about that afterwards. She will talk about it too during the interview. But she's a chef, she's a mom, she's an entrepreneur. She is just all over the place as far as what she does on a daily basis. She will talk about that in the interview. She's a really, really fun person, but I mean the work ethic here and just the determination, and it's really cool. It's perfect for women's national what is it? Women's International Nat Women's International History Month. Right. Slow down. We'll get it. She's the perfect guest. And without further ado, Doug knew that we were gonna miss today. He was going to March Madness, and Miss Leanne Wong could not make Friday evenings. So 1 plus 1 equals the interview that y'all got right now. And I'm going to start that up and I'll see y'all afterwards. But this is an interview that Doug and I did with Miss Leanne Wong less than a month ago, but recent. So enjoy, y'all.
Welcome to Brothers and Booze. Tonight we have a very special guest, one that I am super duper duper excited about. And I think Greg is too. But first, let's start with what we're drinking. Greg, you already got yours poured. What do you have?
Drinking again. I wasn't ready for that, but I have. I'm still drinking the Infinity Heroes that I got sent for me from Revolution Brewing. We're actually an afternoon taping kind of thing, so it's a nice afternoonish type beer. I've had this before on our stream, so everybody knows. Juicy citrus character, very nice. Won't take too long on that one. Cheers.
Yep. Cheers. I pulled something out of my cellaring fridge that's 3 years old. It's a Parabola from Firestone Walker, a barrel-aged imperial stout. So let's
going big this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm going big, but it's going to be basically the only one I have. So yeah. All right, let's pour this.
It's 5 o'clock everywhere.
It is not where our guest is, but where we are. Yeah.
Noons.
Check that out. Nice and
you know me, I'll start at 8 in the morning. I don't even care.
True. Super bourbony on the nose. That's boozy. Yeah, well, it's when I got it and I put it in my cellar fridge, it was 13.6. So who knows what it is now? So cheers, folks.
Cheers.
Yeah, big in.
All right, Doug. We have a very special guest this evening for y'all. Afternoon for us. It's kind of weird. But she is Doug.
She is a person who I get classified as a celebrity chef. She's been on Top Chef 3 different times. She's currently competing on Tournament of Champions. She runs 2 restaurants and rumored for another one that I'd like to talk to her about. And
owns 1, runs 2. Right, that's what it is, right?
Yeah, okay, I think that's how it is. And yeah, and she's coming to us from Hawaii, so hence why we're recording now, because her life is crazy busy. So,
and she's a brunch queen.
Yes, which is great.
I love brunch. Brunch is this man.
Yeah. So
Doug,
yeah.
Doug, brunch got us where we're at. Got me where I'm at today with the problems with food.
Yeah, with our food problems. Yeah.
Too many fucking mimosas.
All right.
But whatever, without further ado, right? It's time.
Yeah.
It's time to bring on our new friend. We got a friend in Hawaii, Doug.
Yeah. It's Anne Wong. Anne Wong. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome. Doug?
Yeah. So usually we ask the guests what they're drinking. So what are you drinking?
Well, I'm actually on a alcohol hiatus, but I saw you guys drinking, and so I wanted to display some of what we're collecting here.
Ooh.
Beautiful Maui Brew Co. red fruit. This was a limited edition.
Oh.
This was produced, a couple of years ago, and been aging this, and then I have a couple of big bottles from Casa Agria. This is like a Dos Casas. This is a wild ale with honey.
That thing's huge. That bottle.
I've got this Zintastico Saison, so it's. We will.
Yeah, you're speaking our language with the saisons. That's one of Greg and I's favorite styles. So yeah.
Yeah, full of I have enough Japanese whiskey to put my kid through college, and I'm not drinking anything right now. I haven't actually. This is the first time in 25 years I've taken a serious break off of alcohol. So.
Well, good for you. We approve of that. I mean, we approve. Good for that. Good for you.
Thanks. I have to say though, Sunday we did a little watch party Tournament of Champions at a local bar in Lahaina, and I had a gin martini, shot of tequila, and a whiskey and a half. And I gotta say, I am drunk now.
Hey, that's not a bad thing though. It's so much cheaper.
I'm like, oh yeah, I got a buzz on. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Excellent.
yeah, go Greg. You have something.
You
Okay.
know what I'm going to ask. You know what I
yeah,
always ask.
yeah, all right. Well, yeah. But I want to talk a bit about the Tournament of Champions, if I may, because I talked to you and asked you to be on. I had no idea you were going to be on. I swear to you. It was just a luck, and my wife and I are big fans of that show. We're like, oh, cool. We loaded up, and I'm like, no shit, Leanne's on the show. I was like, wow, that was perfect timing. So yeah,
Yeah, it was good. I had done an episode of Guys Grocery Games last year, and it was the play-in for season 3 of TOC, and I lost in the first round to Artie some parts. She went on and crushed it. And but Guy was really impressed with like seeing me compete, and he wanted me on the show, and so they offered me the opportunity to come in and just be an alternate. And they $1,000 a day to sit in my hotel room. So I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And so I was cast for this year, and it was really nice. It was like chef camp because I live very far away from everybody. And so to be able to go somewhere and shoot a show, all my old culinary buddies, from mainland, and be there with everybody was just really, really nice. It was a great group of professionals, and like, of course, Guy is just like, he's so cool, and he's such a nice person, and he's just been such a huge influence to the industry. And I remember like when like watching him come up and seeing him at all the after parties at South Beach and stuff like that, and just like but seeing what he's done with all how he's so, so much
for you, and your face when they were getting ready to reveal the scores made it look like you were just like, oh shit, like
why there's cauliflower underneath the salmon? There's like fucking spinach on my cutting board. Okay, great. Like,
yeah, and you were going against Malarkey, who is like you competed against before. So
good old
that was
Chef Shenanigans.
Yeah, he is Greg, if you've never seen that guy, he is energy on top of energy. Just like
that would be a good word for him. It's gregarious. And he's a lovely person. And, I've known Brian. I actually produced Top Chef in Miami. I was the producer for season 3. So I've known Brian for since 2009. 2009, 2010. So I've known him for 13 years. And in season 7, we just got paired together. We were on like a losing challenge like for like half of the show. And so like I have to say, like, while I was definitely surprised, it was a little bit vindicating.
yeah, you looked genuinely surprised, and
I was surprised, because I made a really nice dish, but like I feel like it was just a better use of the random, like I actually made a crepe, and like I actually poached my salmon,
Yeah. And I will say he did something where he just basically like toasted nuts on it or something on the crepe maker. And I was like, that seems kind of a cop out. Now I'm saying this as someone who cooks at home and doesn't know shit. So like I don't know anything.
So Wayfair is a sponsor. So all the random equipment that we have to use is like being sold on Wayfair. So I'm sure hopefully they sold 1 million crepe pans the other night. But like the funny story about that is like, we get crepe maker, crepe pan, and we see this thing, and like Simon and Guy and Brian are all like, and Justin are like, what is this? I've never seen a crepe pan like that. Because people say crepe pan, you think like stainless steel, flat crepe pan, whatever, and like plastic electric paddle. And the funny story is that years ago I had seen like a video for it on Instagram, and I ordered one for Cocoa Head, and it was like, make crepes in like seconds, and you just dip it and off, and I was like, oh, that would be great for the restaurant. So I order one, and it takes like 8 months, 6 to 8 months to get to the restaurant. Like I totally forget that I ordered it. It's coming from China. I get it. It's got like a power adapter attached to it because it came from China, and it breaks within 2 weeks. So it was very funny getting to the stage and like seeing that crepe maker. Like after like we spin the wheel, they break out the equipment, set it up on our stations, and I look at it. And everyone's like, it's under discussion on camera, and I'm like, yeah, I know exactly what that thing is.
Yeah, they were fascinated that you were dipping it. They were like, oh.
I'm like, yeah, this is how you use this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was it's fun, it's always fun to compete, I think. And I like to tell people I am a professional at losing on television. I've become really good at it for years. So all part of the game. And I think I have a 5-year-old son, so that's always like what I'm trying to teach him is like, it's not about winning. Like often it's about losing. You lose, but you're winning just by playing the game, So I have to live by my word, what I tell my son. So
and the experience that you get out of it is something that you can't probably pay for anywhere.
No, and it's like, just you're a winner just by being there. You know what I mean? And it's like to amongst a group of like 31 of my peers that are like at the top of their game is incredible, and we got to spend time together off camera. And I can't begin to tell you like what an incredible supportive group of human beings they are. Like we're on this like mega tech thread that's like just a daily love fest, wishing each other happy birthday, wishing each other congratulations on awards and projects and opening restaurants and like all these things that everyone's doing. It's kind of incredible to find it, like we're there competing, but we were already living lives, and it's just nice to to know that like one, but like we're all still just there supporting each other. It wasn't competitive in that sense where it's like I need to take you down.
Right. So Leanne, you, as much as I feel sometimes you probably feel intimidated by being on TV, or whether it's the cameras or whether it's the people around you and all that. Is that I can see by your reaction. I'll let you respond to that.
I did the first season of Top Chef back in 2005. And then they brought me on to produce the show. So I was actually creating the challenges and helping to cast the show for 4 or 5 years. And so my perspective on culinary competition has evolved over time. And where I remember being at that very start, because like Top Chef and Hell's Kitchen came out at the same time back in the 2000s. So there had never really a show like Top Chef hadn't really been done on that scale, where you've got it wasn't a studio show, so you've got chefs competing out in the field. And I just remember the reality TV experience of like suddenly being recognized on the plane and in the casino when we were shooting finale, and like it was just very weird. And then like also paying attention to all the comments on social media and all the trolls, and just like it was hard. I think those first few years were really, really hard. And being a young chef, I had to come to grips with my own ego and my own flaws, and just like dealing with being known as a public enemy, really, really hard when you've got people judging you just by what they're seeing.
Right.
But I think over time I've learned to like deal with it, and just I've got a very, very like grounded perspective on the whole TV reality company thing. And like I left New York by choice. I like made a very conscious choice to leave New York and my television career and all of that behind to move to Hawaii. So to be able to still do television, get invited to do shows and TV is like, it's amazing. Like I have a testy relationship with an ex manager who says, oh, she's moving to Hawaii, she's killing career. She's never going to work again, you know? And it's like, I'm just not making any more money for you, dude. Like, I'm choosing my own path here, you know? So it's, you know, and I think that's it. It's like, you know, it's like, I only hope to get better with age with what I do. You know what I mean? So it's like, TV's always going to be there. Goes around, comes around. I get the call, great. If I don't, I continue working and continue like.
And yeah, that was my leading question, to say that, like, you, my friend, are an intimidating person. If let's look at your resume, and your resume goes back, at this point, from what I know, at least, I mean, obviously your resume goes back, you know,
20 years,
much longer than I'm on the site here. But your history as far as being out in front in the TV and being, quote, celebrity chef and a TV chef, goes back at least more than a decade at this point. And so you, but your resume is so big. Otherwise, it's wonderful, and I love it. And
let me distinction. Guy Fieri is a celebrity chef. Bobby Flay is a celebrity chef. Giada De Laurentiis is a celebrity chef. I am. I don't like the term celebrity. I drive a beat down Prius.
I wouldn't like to be there. I'm with you.
You know, like, it's just like, I'm a working chef, you know, and it's a working chef who happens to, like, sometimes be on TV. That's what I like to say. They're like, oh, I saw you on TV. I'm like, sometimes it's like my other job.
Right. And I could tell, though, and part of my point is that I could tell that you would be a rock star. How about this? A rock star chef? How about that? I call you that. And I think you would be, regardless of the respectfully TV, and or to try to take you down a pedal. She's just
Oh,
crazy?
My shit's overpriced. I'm like, what? I'm like, you have like to try and run you know.
So they use that as a reason why. Okay.
Like, you know, you're talking about brunch, and yeah, I got, you know, it was by accident that I ended up in the brunch game. Like, I moved to Hawaii. I partnered with a restaurant owner who was moving his restaurant down the street of his old space. He's like, I want to do a breakfast place. It's hard to make money on breakfast. Can we do brunch? You know, can we make it like a little bit more elevated and fancy? And so I, like, basically created a menu and this concept that turned into Cocoa Head Cafe. And what's incredible is just not only the positive response that we've had from the community and support we've had over the years, but just how it has been able to last. I mean, like, to me, the sort of like kismet and very slim chance that I created a concept, because I've created concepts that failed. Don't get me wrong. I've, like, closed a couple of restaurants, but, like, to create a concept that has staying power has been really, really incredible. And I mean, that's due to the fact of my employees and how amazing they are. But we are getting ready to open Cocoa Head Cafe in Japan. We have partners, and we're opening in the Shin Marunouchi building outside the back of Tokyo Station this April, and then we'll be opening in the first floor of the new Hilton outside of JR Osaka Station in August of 2024. So we're, you know, the dreams of bringing it to Japan are finally coming to fruition, and it's been very much something that has been in the works since I opened the. So to be here now is amazing, and I'm really excited for all the opportunity it's going to bring everybody on both sides of the pond. So
and I assume, Doug, I'll let you in real quick. I assume real quick, my last one here. I assume that a lot of these, or many of these opportunities, came from you, quote, losing on the TV show.
Boozing?
She just said that you're a winner if you're there, so let's go with that.
Right, but notice I put, like, again, to me it feeds to the point of, like, you're not losing, and whether you lost the competition or not, you know what I mean? Like, you lost, but these are things that open.
Like, drinking problem on TV. What are you talking about?
Right. But you know what I mean, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the people say, oh well, she never won anywhere. It's like, no, but she won so many times.
Yeah, it's exposure is exposure, and you got to make the best of those opportunities. And I think just over the past 20 years, and it's still every day it's like but you get to know yourself a little bit better, and like what you stand for, what you believe in as a business owner and a chef and an individual. And I live in a really place that I think it's Hawaii's so unique because it's a place that imports over 95% of its food supply. And both my restaurants are hyper local restaurants. We get as much as we can local. I mean, my Maui restaurant, I can do things in Maui that I can't do in Oahu. And it's just what is able to grow incredible. And like, with that, it's like, the guy arguing against the $20 avocado toast. I'm like, yeah. And I drove up country. I come from up country and I go to the market twice a week, and I drive that produce in myself and I carry it in the building myself. So yeah, I haven't factored that into the cost. My gas, my labor, like, dude, it's like it's fascinating to me that, like, after everything that's happened with the pandemic, that customers or some people really can't see that restaurants in particular, like, got the worst of it. We literally were like told to close down, had to let go of our staff, like basically were subjected to ridiculous, just new rules and regulations that cost us a shit ton of money, whether it was putting curtains or building like booth separators, or like, everybody's in masks and gloves, and you're spending literally thousands of dollars a week on just like PPP stuff, like gloves and masks. And it's just like, all that cost has to go somewhere, so just it's been still, the long effects of the pandemic are still here. And the fact that some people choose to ignore it and think that like inflation shouldn't apply to restaurants, it's just crazy. This is my argument of the day walking into this. It's like, if people love watching shows like TOC, but most everybody on the show has a restaurant or some business and employees that they're trying to provide a living for. And the money for that doesn't come out of our pockets. It comes from the business that we create from the customers, right? That's running a business. Yep. So it's just something that the cost of labor's gone up, the cost of everything's gone up. And, I would gladly spend money at any of my fellow chefs' restaurants. I don't believe anybody's trying to rip anybody off. If you're charging $300 for a tasting menu, then I expect to have a $300 experience. With the wine, the glassware, the dishware, the atmosphere, the lighting, like, okay. So it's just, I think it's perspective, and I'm a crusader for restaurants. I've tried to be a voice for chefs and restaurateurs the past 3 years, and it's like a never-ending job that is definitely, I think, takes its toll on me and many others personally. When we're just trying to cook, we're just trying to feed people. God damn it! So, yeah.
Yeah, I know that some of the stuff that I was following you on Twitter when you were talking about in the middle of the pandemic, and just how you were like very publicly talking about crusading for folks who had gotten laid off and people who were at restaurants that were smaller. And, you have different things that come into play there. And like you said, having to pay for all the PPE and just like the myriad of things you had to do. I mean, they were public health things, so you had to do them, but that has to come somewhere. Now the thing is, like when we would order food, like in the pandemic when it was really heavy, we would order food and I would go pick it up and I'd mask up, but I would tip like a crazy person because all of them needed money. Like I didn't want to see them go to business.
Life to make sure you get food, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is before vaccines. This is before we knew anything. It was scary as shit. I tell people, like, what was it? The Princess Cruise, that one ship that sat outside San Francisco for a month, and a bunch of people died on the boat. The last thing that disembarked was the fucking Pioneer Inn right before it went to San Francisco. Closed the hotel the next day.
My word.
Next day, and like my employees were freaked out. You know, we didn't know what was going on. So it's just it's like everyone thinks, oh yeah, pandemic's over, I go back to my life. You know, and it's like I'm always amazed when I get on an airplane and no one's wearing a mask.
I'm not doing that.
You know, so it's like we didn't learn anything. Some of us did. Some of us didn't. You know, so. But the reality is that still, restaurants, small businesses are still feeling. I mean, every business is still, well, except with the exception of maybe the gas executives, but we're still feeling the long-term effects of the pandemic in both the workforce disappearing, in the rising costs of goods, inflation, shipping, gasoline, everything. Everything affects the chain. I mean, honestly, the past. You know, the Trump years, you know, when we're deporting everybody and trying to kick farmers and farm aid workers out, who's gonna like pick your goddamn vegetables and like park your car and clean your house and like, you know, it's we the working people, like we're comprised up of people from all over this world, and some of them, yes, are not like legally documented, but it's like it doesn't mean that they're not working hard to make a living. It's just it's crazy what happened, long-term effects of the pandemic and socially and everything else. So it's like trying to like create a moment of joy with a piece of avocado toast is like that's like big up in my day, is like sending a beautiful piece of avocado toast, having it just absolutely make their day, and then tell me that's the most amazing avocado toast I've ever had. Like, that's all I want, you know? Who's like, I would never pay $20 for your avocado toast. You're just...
Man. Yeah, but people don't get it. Like, avocado toast, dog, it's harder to make than people think. You ever try to get a ripe avocado?
Like, you're paying for knowing when it's perfect. Like, you're paying... Yeah, you're paying for the professional touch of perfect butter.
Yes.
Perfect avocado mash, shaved organic vegetables. It's like, you know, there are people that live to eat, and you got to know anytime you're going out to eat, even if it's like at the Krispy Kreme drive-thru, right? You have an expectation of an experience. You don't go to Burger King and ask for a Big Mac, you know. And it's just like the same people who would come in and order something that's not on your menu. You're just, I have the menu. Did you read it?
Apparently not.
And that's like, you know, there's like literally a whole percentage of people who go in and think that restaurants are short order cooks and private chefs. And I'm like, that's not how this works, where you get to come in and that's not on the menu. Like, so, you know, we're just at a really strange time. And it's, I find it stressful because not the general public has caught up with the reality of what's still happening in our industry. So, you know, we see the good times, we see the TV shows, we see the, you know, the culinary competition, but it's like, yeah, the day to day of like trying to live your life and like keep your businesses open. It is stressful. I wish, you know, part of me wishes I was a TV chef again, so I could just do TV and not worry about restaurants. It's a lot less stress to worry about keeping, you know, 8 dozen people employed, you know, so it's, but my choice. So,
So, Leanne, one thing I haven't seen in any of your media, but you have a lot out there. So I probably didn't get to it in a couple of days. I was researching it. Can you speak to aspiring chefs and whether
um
yeah whether well I don't want you don't have to go down the deep dive because we only have you for so long, but can you speak to an aspiring chef who may want to go through the torture of being on one of these shows? How did you bridge the gap, or how did you get to that point to where A, you were confident enough to do it, but B, do you have to have like Hollywood contacts in order to, be able to get in? Or how would you speak to someone who's like, say I'm anxious and I'm a good chef and I'm online and I'm doing all this stuff and I really want to be on TV and I really want to take you on, or I really want to meet Bobby Flay, or
right?
what do you say to them?
It is, depending on how you do, it could be career changing, but at the same time, don't put all your stock in television. TV comes and goes. Television shows come and go. It's an opportunity. It's a point in your career that can be a highlight, but don't think that it is going to be life changing in the sense that you're going to win it all and suddenly get a contract in a TV show. Like, I chased that dragon like years and years and years. And I find more comfort in knowing that, and this is just my personal decisions, but like, I've been able to manifest that opportunity into a business that supports me and my family, So it's not just about when's the next show, when am I competing? Like, at the end of the day, I needed to have a home and a business where people could come try my food. Otherwise, I was just a chef making like really pretty stuff on TV, but nobody could actually come taste it and have my food. So, creating that home base where I could share my talent with the greater public was really, really important to me. Over the years, I got calls from people who had been contestants who had been on Top Chef, and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sad. Tonight's the night I'm getting sent home. I'm eliminated." And I'm like, "Listen, you literally have two restaurants. Go to your restaurants. Celebrate with your staff. Celebrate with your customers. Celebrate the fact that you're even on the show. Like, keep working, keep moving forward." That's my advice to everybody in the industry, not just people who aspire to be on television. When you go to a culinary school, it's so crazy what like reality cooking has done to motivate people into our industry. And I would say you get for like on Chopped or Iron Chef or Top Chef, or like day one, and like, that's not really a goal to be a TV chef. Like, I mean, it's nice to happen, but like, that's not a reality. I went into fashion design before I ever cooked, and I went to FIT in New York, and I just remember thinking, like Ralph Lauren, Donna Karan, all those guys, Calvin Klein at the time, early turn of the century. It was like, they were the 1 percentile of the 1 percentile. And it's kind of the same when you look at like Bob Lay and Giada Guy and Rachel Ray and Jacques Pepin, Julia Child. It was like the 1% of the 1%. So to even get the opportunity to put your face on television, it's always, put your best foot forward. But know that like it's fleeting. Like, you have so much more work to do that will like enrich your life other than being TV. And at the end of the day, it's like TV shows again, they come and go. It's just so it's like you have to look at everything like building blocks. That's like really how I view everything I do now. Like mistakes, wins, losses, all building blocks.
Can I have one more follow up and then I'll let you roll here? So, Leanne, one thing is, how do you deal, or how did you, or how do you deal with your nerves? I don't. The only TV show that I watch is Top Level Chef with Gordon Ramsay. Comes on Fox. My whole family gets around on that one. We love it. but we're always it's easy for us to be critical on our sofas. You know what I mean?
Epitome of like what we did, that toxic masculinity in a kitchen that we don't want to perpetuate anymore. And he's a really nice guy in real life, but like the character that he plays on TV,
well, so we don't laugh, but we really talk about and I talk about with my sons about how sometimes it feels like these people get crushed under pressure, and that's kind of what they want in that environment. In my opinion, you feel nervousness, or you see that nervousness, or you see that like vulnerability in them coming out. And how did you manage that? Because as a human, I'm sure it hits everyone. Was that something that, or did you just block it out? Or I mean, that must be really stressful.
I had to talk it out with friends. I had to talk it out with like therapy. Like you have to talk it out with therapists, figure out like how to deal with loss. And like again, I said, I am like a professional television. And I'm okay with it, and at the end of the day, it's also, the wider picture. Like I'm a chef. The idea of Top Chef is that you could give the same basket of ingredients to 100 different chefs and get 100 different results. Yep. And chefs have good days, bad days. And I tell the story about Top Chef Masters. That was the first season where we brought in all the marquee, old school, like they'd already made all their to Michelin stars. We bring them into the competition. And I remember the first episode that I produced after the quick fire. It was like basically a quick fire where they had to cook something out of a cabinet, like the pantry staples. And like we brought in this like cabinet display, and I filled it with like spam and lentils and bullshit and like just everything out of like a and it was like John Waxman and Michael Cimarusti and Roy Yamaguchi and Lachlan O'Brien. It was like they all made a plate of didn't look so good. So at the end of the challenge, like we're in between challenges, like go out back behind the set, and like Roy's sitting on like an upside down milk carton, and like he's only he's judged competition for Top Chef. He was like a judge in Hawaii for the finale of season 2, and he's like, "Oh, this shit is hard. You guys are crazy." And I'm like, "Yeah, chef, it's supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not easy for anybody. Like the ridiculous conditions, and then you have a clock, and then you have cameras on you, and then you're in an unfamiliar kitchen without a sous chef, without anybody to help you. You're like, yeah, it's hard. So it's hard for everybody, So I think just understanding that it's like everybody struggling too. And some chefs are much better competitors than others. Some chefs are in. They know all the tricks and what to do in the competition. Some chefs compete regularly year round on competition television, but like, it's like you just deal with it. You're like, okay, that was fun. Moving on. It's not going to make a break. And it's like, people are still going to come to my restaurant, even if I fail miserably, people would come to my restaurant sheerly out of morbid curiosity. So, so it's like, oh, her shit was so bad. Maybe we should see if she's really, really any good, It's like, it's interesting being on television and also like being at a point where, like in the early, like turn of the century, it was like social media became a thing. These are all new things that chefs have to navigate beyond just being a chef, beyond cooking. You have to have owners who are like, can I get you on TV? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, can you do chop? We need to get you on TV. And it's like, yeah, imagine if you got a chef who has social anxiety and he's like, he doesn't want to be on TV and he doesn't want to make friends. He doesn't want to eat, but suddenly that's what's being asked of him. So it's a whole new ball game in the sense that we have to be extroverts, chefs. This part. If you're not an extrovert, it's like, hopefully you got like real money and real back. So.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. So, as we mentioned before, you have a lot going on. So, one of the things I was talking to a friend of ours, Greg, and I have a friend who is a chef who is now a stay-at-home dad. He stopped being a chef for a myriad of reasons, but I said, all right, well, we're going to be talking to Leanne. Do you have any questions? He goes, ask her about work-life balance. So
dad husband, who's amazing. And it's hard. I mean, like right now I am the head of household. I'm the only one like with, so I hustle, and it's always hustling because I have to take care of my husband and my son. He is full-time with my child, and he works from home, and he actually does like the signage for my restaurant. He's got like currently our garage has turned into a woodworking laser shop. So, yeah, he does the signage for my restaurant, and it's like, I try and figure it out. Because I have brunch restaurant, I go into work sometimes at 4 a.m. And like yesterday I went in at 4, got home at 6 in the night, so I had a 13-hour workday yesterday, and that was just a Monday, and today, and I've got a laundry list of I literally have a amount of laundry behind me, but
Right.
like I have a full schedule I have to do. I got to do receipts this afternoon. I got to go pick up my kid in half an hour. Like just all the stuff that like, the day never ends. So I think as a chef, I just try and push through every single day. Work-life balance is hard. I try and make sure that I have time for family, and every now and then time for friends. Although now that I'm not drinking anymore, it's been hard. Social times are just not as enjoyable. No, that's not true. But it's been again, every day is full. There's not enough time in the day. So the fact that he gets to be a stay-at-home dad and spend time with his children is invaluable. I am jealous. Like I'm telling you, sir, soak it up and enjoy it, because those are moments you can't get back.
I will tell you, I know for sure he's doing that. Part of it for him, and he's very public about it. Part of the reason he left was because he was an alcoholic and he needed to quit because it was wrecking him. But now he's able to spend time with his kids, and like he loves it. And Greg, and actually the interesting thing is we've had him on the show a couple times, and what he does is he reviews NA beers, because there's a million great NA beers now. So it's interesting.
He dry zero favorite. As a crisp lager in Japan, that was all. I went to Japan in December, and I've been like basically my doctor. I got blood work done last summer, and they're like, "Yeah, you're basically diabetic and you have high cholesterol." I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." And like I'm like, I knew it because I had gestational diabetes when I had my kid, but then the pandemic happened, and I like leaned really hard into pasta and rice, and it was great, but like afterwards, I'm just like, okay, I have to just change. I've been like no sugar, carbs, no alcohol for 6 months, kind of hangry all the time, but just trying to figure out, moving forward, how to just energy to spend with my child and my family and work, and just getting through the day again.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because you talked about having sort of a wake up call from a health perspective. I mean, the reason that you and I actually ended up following each other on Twitter, well, I had followed you, but you mentioned you had a loved one in the middle of the pandemic that had to go into the hospital, and they couldn't get a room because it was just jam packed with people who had COVID. And I had a heart attack in the middle of the pandemic, and I sat in an emergency room hallway for 36 hours before I could get a room.
Oh
So
okay.
I'm okay now, but it's something like you said, like you just kind of have to reevaluate what's the right choice for you going forward, because you want to be around. You want to be around for your family, right?
Yeah.
So, kudos for you taking the steps. I mean, and I can't imagine it's easy living, being a chef, and then trying to have, be more proactive about, all right, I can only eat this stuff when you're making all this other things. How hard is that for you?
It's I mean, like, you mean not eating sugar and not having beer today? It's really hard, actually. I literally have a pastry counter that like a fresh baked goods counter at my restaurant that we're doing every day. So yeah, again, it's choice. I'm actually suffering long COVID. I after 2 years of avoiding it, I got COVID when my husband brought it home from the mainland, and my taste and smell is at like maybe 60%. Been that way in April, so yeah, it's just been kind of a weird time as a chef, and it's coming into acceptance of all those things, like I diminished taste and smell, the fact that I can't eat sugar anymore. Yeah, but it's also shifting the way that I cook, in the restaurant, and I think it forced me to figure out ways to, I guess, bring more flavor to my food, try to do things that are more health conscious, and be aware that, yeah, everybody's keto and paleo and vegan and gluten-free these days. So yeah, I can get on that. We still have chicken noodles.
Yeah. So we kind of running up against time because I know you have things to do. So I want to just say thank you again for being on and taking the time to talk to us ninnies here, and we enjoy hearing you talk about stuff. So, Greg.
Yeah, thank you. And in general, like it's support restaurants. That's all I can say. Support small businesses. Support restaurants right now. It's been I apologize for coming on like on a tear just because like
oh, that was great. That was great. We love that
argument with somebody right now, but again, I feel very passionately about what I do, and the way that I think my role in the industry as a chef and an employer and somebody who is trying to deliver a larger message within my own community, which is, eat local, support local. You've come all the way to Hawaii. Put yourself in my hands. Don't try and order the same thing you eat every day back home. Like, the point is get out and adventure and discover, and that's like, the point of hospitality, going out, put yourself into the hands of professionals and just enjoy the experience, And so I'm here today advocating for restaurants and all the hardworking people in our service industry who have managed to survive a few years, and keep up the hard work, guys. We're all in this together.
Greg?
I got nothing. Leanne, I hope that we can talk to you in the future because I want to know what's going on with Japan.
Come see me, and then you will be able to Cocoa Head Japan in April, as of April 17th. It's right behind Tokyo Station, the Shin Marunouchi building. You can't miss it. It's so easy to find. Yeah, so I'm excited. Keep your eyes out for that.
We didn't even get into you having 2 different restaurants in 2 different islands. So
yeah,
come on now.
Also, coming up, episode of I'll be on the Hawaii episode of Alex versus America. I think that is in March. And then I'll be on an upcoming episode of Magnum PI, playing a fictional line cook, not myself. That's amazing. I actually have lines. I have lines with one of the main characters. So
look at you.
It's my first acting job.
Yeah.
And
that rocks.
Yeah, I'm nominated for the Beard Award right now. So fingers crossed I'll make it to final.
Yeah, James Beard stuff, man. Good luck to that. Seriously.
Thank you. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate you.
When we get to Hawaii, we're definitely looking you up.
Yep.
Please do. You know where to find me.
I do.
Yes,
I
we do.
And I know where to get brunch. So
yeah.
We'll have some whiskey together.
Yes.
Yes,
look at
please.
that. I'm gonna hold you to that. So Leanne, thanks for everything. Thanks for also telling us what's coming up as far as what to look out for you. And I don't know, I'm just thrilled that you joined us this afternoon. And Doug, last word, and we'll get out of here.
No, just thank you. I will hold you to whiskey because I'm a big Scotch person, so I'll be happy to share it with you.
Perfect.
Yes, and I'm going to hold you to that avocado toast. I would love the privilege of paying $20 for your avocado toast. So, right. So for everyone,
avocado toast you ever have.
Right. I don't care. It will be the environment. It'd be right next to that water there that you guys got. I'm sure that air comes off the ocean. That is just so refreshing.
Paying for is the view.
Right. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So thank you, Leanne, and good luck on this year's tournament. I know that I'm going to be jumping in soon, and I know Doug's already watching because he's screaming and hollering about it in one of our messenger threads. And I'm like, spoilers! Slow down with the spoilers! So it was cool. Leanne, thank you.
All right, take care.
Aloha.
Cheers.
Okay, bye.
Welcome back, y'all.
Welcome back.
Doug is here with me. Hi, Doug.
Yeah. Fresh off my watching my first ever March Madness game live. So yeah.
And watching your first ever Brothers and Booze back.
Yeah, and realizing my audio sounds terrible, and I never realized it because I forget to rewatch them. So I'm gonna have to correct that. Sorry, folks.
Right. So real quick here, Leanne. Actually, what's in your glass?
Oh, yeah. I did start with an NA, but what I started with is the Hoppy Hellas Trailblazer from Athletic. So I could start with an NA. And yeah, there was only 2 games. I could only watch 2, and we took the early session. And the games were done at 6:30, so it was a 2-hour and 15-minute ride. So yeah, back already. But what I decided to pull out was something that I got sent by by our friends at Revolution Brewing that I never opened yet. Dark Mode. And since I'm celebrating being able to, me and my 15-year-old watching our first ever March Madness game live, gonna open this. And Lauren had this on her show before, so
We fooled you, Zach.
we told you. Wait.
Zach obviously missed the opening when it was just me.
Yeah.
He was probably out there getting this Friday evening takeout, Zach? Is that what was going on?
Yeah, with his fancy slippers. So cheers. Oh. Lauren is not wrong. Yeah, this is freaking delicious. Super boozy, but like sweet boozy. It's like very, 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 very good. So yeah. Cheers, folks. What do you have, Greg?
Granola and applesauce. That's what I was eating while I was watching us talk to Miss Leanne Wong.
Yeah. So, well, okay. So that's cool.
So Doug, tell us where we're at tell us where people can find Miss Leanne. She posted this 2 days ago on her Instagram.
Yeah, I didn't see if she won yet because it's coming out Sunday. So yeah, that's that comes up Sunday on Food Network. That's the Tournament of Champions. So this is round 2. There was already some pretty giant upsets in the first round, including the defending champion Tiffany Faison lost to the lowest seed. And then Antonio Lafaso, who's also 1 seed, lost to the number 8 seed. So yeah, it was a pretty startling to watch if you follow that sort of stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing how she does. Also, look at the earrings in that photo. Put that back up. Her first round, she wore dinosaur earrings. It was great. I was like, those are the coolest freaking earrings.
Well, she's a character, so
yeah.
That's clear. So Doug, this is still evolving, meaning like it's still going and you can't like binge it or anything. You have to just watch it on what is it again?
Well, you can watch it. I have Discovery Plus, so I have like Food Network and HGTV and all that shit. So yeah, that is on there. You can watch the first 4 episodes. It's all the first round folks because there's 32 chefs that start out.
Gotcha. So that means she appears once then, right? So she made it to the second round, and now she's in the second.
She'll be competing, and we'll be able to see how she does this coming Sunday. So yeah, and then the Alex versus America show that she was on. If you haven't watched that show is really freaking cool. Alex Carnicelli like takes on 3 chefs Well, actually, it's 3 chefs start. They compete, and then one gets eliminated. And the following 2 get to compete against Alex. It's Alex against the other 2. So, and each episode's like some of them's like seafood or like. So apparently they're having a Hawaii episode, and Leanne's going to be in that. I think she said that was. I thought she said that was coming in March, but I have not seen any new episodes for that yet. That's also on Food Network thingy, so same thing.
Yeah. Anything else, Doug? We're gonna get out of here kind of quick because you had a long day and I had a short day, and I want to. Yeah, I know you needed a nightcap though. How was the games? What was going on? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so the first game was VCU versus St. Mary's. It was a freaking rock fight. St. Mary's plays defense like they're trying to knock people's heads off. That's just how they play. They play really slow. It's not the style of basketball I enjoy watching, but it's super effective because they don't have a lot of athletes, so they just slow the game down. Do that. It ended, and the thing about VCU, the head coach of VCU was one of my college teammates. So yeah, sorry to disappoint there, Zach. But so yeah, I got to see him coach live, which was cool, although they lost. And then the second game was UConn and Iona. And the first half of Iona UConn was great. It was fast. It was like there was like I think Iona was either up 1 or down 1 at half, and then the second half UConn just blew the doors off of them. So it was like second half was not as fun. But what's cool is like I forget because I haven't been to a live game in forever, just how like the emotion that goes through the crowd when certain things happen that you just don't get when on TV. You just don't hear it. You don't feel that. So yeah, that was a cool thing. And my son and I think are going to try to make that a yearly thing. So
cool. Did you put that picture out on social media you sent me?
I didn't post anything on social media yet. I took some pictures, a few videos, but
can I?
Yeah,
can
you
I?
can.
Or you don't want?
No, you can go ahead if you have it.
Cool. I can make it happen here real quick. But I thought it was cool, and my sons thought it was cool. So yeah. Any other comments about this? Was this your first time at March Madness?
Yeah, I'm a huge March Madness fan. So this was kind of like a lifelong dream for me, was to go to a game. And I liked the first weekend of March Madness the most because that's when you could see all the interesting upsets. And there's me and my 15-year-old kid who's 3 inches taller than me. He's a giant. So yeah, we were one row from the very top. Like we were the next to last row that you could sit in. So, but the thing is, the arena's small enough that it was fine. So yeah, we got to see and enjoy it. So,
well, that's cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. So yeah, Doug, I do have one exciting past news. Yes, you already know. I don't think we talked about it or told y'all, so we're gonna do that right now. I didn't do this on purpose, but it involves Black Viking Brewing, y'all. Made big news. I hope y'all following. I hope this is old news to y'all who follow them on IG, but they made big news a couple weeks ago by announcing a huge collaboration with Sam Adams Brewery, Storm of the Century, Ginger Black Lager.
Man,
I guess it's a black form of their normal ginger beer, which we've had here. I've had it. I still got one over in my fridge, and
I don't have any. I don't have any Zinga beer. I'm very sad about that.
Yeah, we got to change that. But yeah, so this is I think this is coming out in the spring. I'm sure there'll be more details. Follow Black Viking Brewing on IG, just so you can also get the updates for when he's doing his live show, which is fucking great, and I love it. So yes, this is going to be excellent, and we're going to be scrambling for these. So if any of y'all come into contact of any of this, Doug and I will pay good money for it.
Amen to that.
All right, Doug. This is kind of a weird stream for us.
Yeah, but
it's the first.
Yeah, but it might happen again. I mean, depending on who we get for guests, sometimes we can do the recording thing. And yeah, and I want to thank you for doing all the producing of all this stuff and taking time out of your day to record with me in the middle of the freaking day, and then
that was fun.
and run it, and then do all the promo. And you're our producer. You're the guy that makes all of it run. So thank you, man.
It was fun. It's funny though, because I was about to say it didn't feel like I did anything today for the stream, but I did. So I'm like, Greg, just get out of here. It's fine. Who cares what Zach says? Right, y'all? Who cares what Zach says? Or what does Zach say? Yeah, who cares, right?
Yeah, whatever.
Let's see. Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3 records in the mail. My son Zach played Donkey Kong the original in an arcade yesterday, and it was excellent just watching him play it. I was like, "Oh my god, you're looking at the new it was the old Donkey Kong, Doug. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
old school, like what fireballs and
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, it was good times. Yeah, Zach, it was good times. They didn't play Rampage though, but there's that. The old lag libations of Lost Days Rampage inside joke. It's never going to end. Actually, it's just never going to end. So.
Y'all are nuts.
Oh, so Daniel says he enjoyed his Emerald Cliffs from Athletic.
I haven't had that one. Daniel, what style of beer is that? Like I said, I had this Hoppy Hellas Trailblazer, which was really good. So
I gotta take a screenshot of that.
Fucking Rampage.
Okay, I'm gonna send it right to the Lags Libations and Lost Saves thread right now.
Also, I still haven't had the chance to watch that. I need to, because I need to mock whoever made that proclamation and stuck to it, because holy shit.
Yeah, it was fun. The whole thing was fun. It was great. Oh, so Emerald Cliffs is an Irish dry stout, NA.
Now I had their Irish dry stout last year, and it didn't have the name Emerald Cliffs, and it was very good. It was very good.
Yeah, and then wait, so you said you enjoyed your Emerald Cliffs, Daniel, and then your Guinness. Is that a Guinness NA, Daniel, or was it just a regular Guinness? Because we were talking about Guinness NA in a separate thread.
Yep.
Earlier today, because people love it.
Oh, it's good.
You will see him unhinged in the comments. Yeah, the Rampage. Yeah.
All right.
Doug, next week we have a fun guest. You want to tell everybody who it is, or do you remember?
I do not remember. So why don't you tell them? Sorry, I walked in the door and logged in. So yeah.
No worries. Standard Guinness. You haven't found the NA yet, Daniel? Wow.
Dude, it's if you have a Wegmans near you, they sell it there for sure.
I haven't seen it my way, but I haven't looked. But y'all keep talking about it. Makes me want to look. So our guest next week is we also consider him a co-host here, Doug.
Here and there, yeah.
So you already know now?
I pulled
Tell everybody who it is.
It's our good friend Jerry Richard. Speaking of Jerry, I wanted to shout out him and his podcast partner having Jeff Tepper on to discuss. I think it was it was a Tribe Called Quest. They were doing a Tribe Called Quest comparison, kind of to figure out what the best Tribe album was. And that was a great podcast. If you haven't listened to it and you like rap music, that was excellent. You should definitely tune in for that.
Who doesn't like Wu-Tang? There was a whole display of them at JHC's local Safeway.
Yeah, and if you need some, Daniel, I can. If you can't find it, I can ship some to you. I mean, you're in New York City. You should be able to find that shit everywhere.
And we need to note that so we also need to know that JHG is Guinness location privileged. So
he's Guinness adjacent.
Yeah, Guinness adjacent privilege, right? Because he's near the open gate, nearish enough to get the the local distribution. Obviously closer to Wisconsin or upstate New York. So, JHG's close, and he's getting the benefits of that.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky him. He's also close to Black Viking.
Yeah. So you can get their stuff. So, can you post? Do you want to post a question here for Manny? That
You
we
can.
need. Okay, I just did.
Right.
Sorry, I was still thinking you had all the privileges and I didn't.
Doug got new powers here, y'all, and he's like a
I am
superhero
invincible!
who doesn't know how to use them.
Yes,
Go
I'm
on,
like,
Doug.
I'm like the greatest American hero, if you remember that.
Okay. I was gonna say Shazam, but that's
that's another one, yeah. But yeah, I would love to do this. I would love to do a hip hop episode sometime. I think you would be down for that too, Greg.
Manny, what do you mean by that? Give me some more ideas. I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm saying, do you mean like a Brothers and Booze only hip hop episode, or you mean something we'll do on like Saturday? We'll get a roundtable guest, or do we just do it on Brothers and Booze and get a roundtable guest? And what do you mean? Do we play? Manny, the only problem is we can't play anything.
That's fair. And I don't know. I think Jerry does play some things on his podcast, and there's some sort of like, remember, Fred Swanson and Jason Stubbs used to play music on their podcast somehow, and there was some sort of licensing thing that if you just, I don't know, maybe you have to buy it or do something weird. So I don't know.
Okay, so two things. I think they're two separate things actually. I think our friend Stubb and them pay for.
No,
you don't. Okay,
maybe.
Jerry does mixes. So I believe mixes you don't have a problem with. I believe you have to pay though in order, or you have to be like, you can be on Spotify. I don't know if you know that. You can be on Spotify and then embed those songs into your podcast, but they get only play on Spotify. They have to be Spotify exclusives.
Okay.
Anyway,
so Jerry just mentioned
do something though.
Yeah, Jerry just mentioned that they don't play any music. Yes, Manny, we know. You're the ideas guy. Yes, we know. Yeah, but Jerry mentioned that they don't play any music, but because they don't have a license, but you can talk about them all day long. So yeah, we can drink. Fucking A, Manny.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, dude,
that's separate of a hip hop show.
Yeah, that's just.
We should do that though, Doug.
Yeah.
Get a whole bunch of
not a whole bunch. No, not a whole bunch. There's no way I can drink a whole bunch of 40s. I could.
Well,
maybe I could have one. Maybe.
No, we would do samples. You know what I'm saying? And listen, it's 40s.
Flight of 40s.
It's 40s. If we buy $20 of 40s, we can get like 10 40s, Doug.
That's true.
Manny, that's a great Mickey's episode. Manny, that's a great idea, actually. That's not even a hip hop idea.
That's Zach's idea, not Manny. But yeah.
Doug, we're going to do that, and we should bring a certified cicerone on, or someone with more credentials than us, and they can spit the beer out. We can make fun of it, and it will be great. Right. History of malt liquor advertising. Look at this.
Yeah.
Well, Jerry, next week, you want to do it?
Put you on the spot. Jerry would talk about that shit all day long. It'd be
That's
great.
Jerry there, right?
Yeah.
This is Jerry for sure, right?
Yep. That's
okay,
Jerry.
Cool. I just assumed that this was Jerry.
Yep.
But yeah. Manny, you call it. We're doing that 40 show at some point, Manny. So
yep,
we're doing it.
Yep,
we'll figure out those logistics. Now, the hip hop thing, you're gonna have to give us more time to think about it, since you're not giving us any fucking ideas, Manny. So you have our personal direct line, Manny. When you get some ideas, hit us up. Obviously, you would want to be involved, and we would want you involved. It's your idea. So that sounds fun. Let's do it. Odie 800. Yes. My favorite was Cold Ice.
Mine was Private Stock.
Mickey,
hey, that got a shout out in a Biggie song, so don't give me that mush face.
Oh my goodness. but I was not wrong though, Doug. $20. If we go say let's just spend $20 to get 40s, we'd still get like 3 or 4 40s, and drain pour most of it because I'm not drinking.
Drain pour most of it is right.
Doing this.
Now I gotta track down malt liquor. Thanks.
Oh, I would.
Man,
please, that would be so amazing.
That would be the guest of all guests, right? Have Billy D on.
Yeah, and we should end the whole stream after. Like, don't do another one. Billy D. Williams would be like the finale show ever. Like you can't come back from that. You can't do better than that. You can't. There's just no. I mean, you can do better, but like like you can't get Michelle Obama or Barack Obama or you know what I mean. Those people are way out of our league. So like Billy D. Williams would be amazing. This is the best idea, the suggestion ever. Zach, hook us up. And Zach, we would go 4 hours of Billy D. Williams too.
Yeah.
Why not? Once or twice, Doug. Not many times for that.
I've had Schlitz, like regular
Big.
Schlitz. Schlitz was terrible.
All right, Doug. Unless you have anything else,
nah,
I'm clicking this to go button, and I'll talk to you
on the flip side.
On the flip side.
All right.
Yes.
Cheers, folks.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next week with Jerry. Y'all have a great week. It's warming up a little bit here.
Here too.
A little spring. Where you at? But yeah, one last shot of Doug earlier today.
I look like I'm a zombie there for some dumb reason, but
yeah, and I couldn't figure out whether your son looks generally happy or not. So that's why I'm like,
that's him smiling. That's him smiling.
Right. Usually, it looks like a sarcastic.
Usually he does the standard look, you know.
Is that a passive aggressive look, Doug?
No.
I
know where you're going. Yeah, let's not get into that whole thing right
now. I just asked a question. Sorry, man. We'll see y'all next week.
Cheers, folks.